Hello guys and girls, how is it going? Thank you so much for joining me. My name's Dee. I hope you are all okay. Now I've been sat here for three and a half hours, 3 hours and 25 minutes I've been sat here now. I've just spoke to the site foreman just down the road and he said it'd be about another hour. So I thought, well, I'll be productive. I've been going through my comments, my Instagram DMs and my emails, and the amount of non-HGV drivers that have messaged me asking for advice how to get into the industry and advice how to land the first job and stuff like that is unbelievable. There's hundreds and hundreds of yous that have messaged me asking, and I can't keep typing out the same thing to every single one of yous because it just takes me too long. I literally get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of messages and emails now, which I don't mind, I do read them all, but instead of keep replying to you all saying the same thing, I thought I'd just do a video. Now, one thing you need to remember is I've only been in this industry now for 11 months, nearly 12 months. I'm still very, very new. I'm not a know-it-all. I keep saying that because people keep calling me a know-it-all. I'm not a know-it-all by any stretch. I'm just very enthusiastic about this career that I've chosen, my dream career that I absolutely love. And I would like to give, not so much my advice, but, well, yeah, I'd like to give a bit of advice, basically. The way I've done it, I think that for me personally, I did it the best way, for me personally. I know, like Kev T, for example, he just went straight into Class 1 driving. Chatting with me in HGV, our Baz, he went straight into Class 1 driving. That's perfect for them. But the way I did it, by doing my Class 2 for a few months, going on an agency, getting some experience, for me personally, I think that was the best way for me to go about it because, well, probably because of my confidence issues and whatnot. It made me more confident being in different scenarios and stuff. And then when I did my Class 1, I jumped straight into tipper work. I did that for 4 months and now I'm here doing flatbed work, which is absolutely awesome. Massive responsibility, steep learning curve, but I absolutely love it. That's just the way I like it. I like it like that. So, to start your training, first of all, if you want to, go to a reputable training provider like Red Rose, and they will book and do everything for you. You'll pay for it, but they'll book everything for you and just send you emails and send you letters and tell you where you need to be, what you need to do, what you need to bring, etc, etc, etc. If you don't want to go that way, like if you want to do something like Red Rose, all you do is phone them up and say, right, I want to do my Class 2 licence, can you set me off on the path? They'll send you a price list with everything included, your CPC module 2 and 4, your theory test, your medical, your provisional, all that good stuff, your lessons, your test, and then it'll say at the bottom how much. I think it cost me about 1,240 quid. Something like that to do it. I think. I've done a video on it. Go back through my HGV training playlist and there's a video in there on it. But if you don't want to do that, start off by booking yourself a medical. Tell them you want to be a HGV driver or a bus driver. Is it PCV or LGV or something? I can't remember. I'm not a bus driver, so I don't know. Tell them you want a medical for that. They'll give you a medical. Once you've got that medical done and completed and you've passed it, send off for your provisional license. Get your provisional license through, and then you can book your theory test, your module 2 test. Get them 2 passed. Then do your licenses, your lessons, and pass your test, and then book your module 4. Once you've done your module 4, get your license, your CPC card, and your TACO card. Don't forget to send off for your TACO card as well. I'd send that off as soon as you've got your provisional. Send off for your TACO card so you're not waiting, because it took me from my medical to being able to go out and drive, it took me 7 months all in all, and that was before coronavirus and all that balls kicked off. So it can be a lengthy process, a very, very lengthy process. I know people that have done it all in a month, which, bang on, that's probably the best way to be, but it took me 7 months. I can't advise you if you should go from driving a car straight to driving a Class 1. I mean, you have to do your Class 2 and then your Class 1, but I can't advise you that. That's entirely up to you. I am happy with the way that I did it doing Class 2 work first, because it got me used to the width of the vehicle. It got me used to taking corners a little bit wider. It got me used to the way traffic around me responds. That kind of thing, so I'm happy with the way that I did it doing Class 2 for a few months first. I did Class 2 for, 7 or 8 months, I think. In that time I did refrigeration work, multi-drop work, I did door-to-door road drops. I I can't remember what they call it, pavement drops. I did pavement drops, I did curtain siders, I did flats, I did steel. I did all sorts. So, in my honest opinion, that's what I would recommend. I would recommend when you do your Class 2 or your Class 1, go for a good, reputable agency. I don't think, and I don't believe in any way, shape or form, that agencies are, what do people call them? Horrible, bloodsuckers. I can't remember the words they use to call them, but nobody likes agencies. I never had that experience. Not at all with agencies. Agencies are a business, and they require drivers to work. You know, if they say to you, can you be in work for 4 o'clock? You turn up for work at 4 o'clock. If you say no, they're going to phone the next guy. And if the next guy says yeah, if they get work the next day and it's a 6 o'clock start, who do you think they're going to call? Ghostbusters. They're going to call the last guy. If you say no, then they're just going to scrub you off, because it's a business and they need to run that business efficiently. The more bums in seats the agencies get, the more money the agency gets, the more successful it'll be. So they're not the scum of the earth. They're a business and they're run like that. You need to be enthusiastic, dedicated and flexible to work on an agency. The majority of the time anyway. If you get like a temp to perm kind of role where you're starting at 6 o'clock every single morning, then that's fine. But I wanted the variety on the agency. When I went to driver hire, I specifically asked for variety. I said, all the stuff that nobody else wants to do, chuck at me. I'll do it. I'm not bothered. And that's, well, I don't think they did that. They just give me work. They just give me work. Whatever come in, they knew that I'd say yes. So they give it me and I went and did it. Happy days. I never got given substandard vehicles. Never. I didn't get the crappiest runs in the world. Ever. I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I would personally not recommend, because that's a bad way of wording it, because it's not up to me, it's up to you. But I'm happy with the way I did it. I'm happy with the way that I did my Class 2 learning with agencies. That was the best way to go about it for me personally. And that's what I'd recommend, kind of. Landing your first job as a driver, whether it be Class 2 or Class 1. Agencies are a good place to start to land your first proper job. If you tell them you want a temp to perm work, usually you will be on the agency for 3 months, but you'll be doing permanent work. You won't be in and out all over the place. You'll be working for one place permanently for 3 months. After that 3 months, if you're happy with the job, and the agency's happy with you doing the job, and the company you're working for is happy with the way you work, then you'll be given a permanent position with that company and you'll be off the agency and with them. And that's when you'll take a pay cut, because agencies pay you more. That's why a lot of people stay on the agencies. But that's probably the easiest way to get your first job, because it's really difficult, especially in Class 1, to get the experience required to get a full-time job. They say that you need 6 months experience. Now, the truth behind 6 months experience, and this may be controversial or whatnot, but experience goes from the day you got your driving license. So if you got your license on the 1st of January, on the 1st of June, whether you've carried on working in a warehouse for 6 months, on the 1st of June you will be classed as having 6 months experience. I know that because I can't remember what company I worked at. I can't remember. I went to a company and they hired a bloke that had his license for 7 months. I think it was 7 or 8 months. And once he got the job, he revealed that he'd never actually driven a truck before. But they gave him the job because he'd had his license for 7 or 8 months. Which, controversial, crazy, bit daft, maybe, but that's the way it is. So if you do have your license for 6 months and you've not found a job, I'm not saying that's the correct way to do it, because it's most definitely not, because if they leave you to go out on your own, you could be a danger to anybody. But yeah, that's the way the experience works. If you want to get a job with a proper haulage firm, there is a few places that do take on new past drivers. Maxi and RT Keedwell being the main two off the top of my head. B&M Bargains take new drivers as well. I think some of the supermarket chains do. Aldi do. There you can try. I would advise trying before you've got your license. Just say, you know, I'm a driver, I'm doing my Class 1. I'm enthusiastic, I can't wait to get started. You know, this is my dream job, I've wanted to do it all my life. I've saved up for years for it, I've finally got it, and I want an opportunity to start with you. That kind of thing. and see if they'll give you the opportunity, and just say I'll be in touch as soon as my license comes through. Some may say, yeah, brilliant, fantastic, we'll put your name down, we'll get ready for you and all that. Some will just say, phone us back when you've got your license, or some will say, no, we're not taking on. How I got this job, honestly, and I'm not lying, I never lie, I applied for about 80 to 100 jobs before I actually landed this one. I applied at every place you could possibly think of before I got this job. I applied for Maxi, Keedwell, applied for both of them. I applied for AKW, IWT, DSV, Jack Richardson's. Seriously, I were applying for jobs 4 weeks after I started at the tipper place because I didn't like it. I was there for 4 weeks when I started applying for jobs, and it took my dad, Wittering Trucker, to give me a mention to the depot manager here before he said bring him in for an interview. So I got really lucky. A lot of people weren't taken on because of coronavirus. A lot of haulage firms had furloughed drivers, which I found amazing because I thought it would have been going through the roof. But like I said in my last video, or the video before, if production stops, driving stops, because we've got to take stuff that's been produced somewhere. So that's why a lot of haulage firms weren't taking on, and they'd furloughed the drivers and stuff. So honestly, to land your first job, you've got to get yourself out there. You've got to get asking people. You've got to be going on to Total Jobs, Read, Indeed, and all that stuff. You've just got to apply. Apply. 80% of them won't get back to you. 15% that do get back to you will tell you no, or tell you need more experience, or tell you they don't think you're suitable. And you might get lucky. You might get lucky and land one job. I got severely, incredibly, unbelievably lucky with this job. I could have ended up anywhere, pulling old, knackered, battered trailers in 14-year-old units. But I've not. I landed very, 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 very lucky with this place. I walked out of a job on Saturday and got an interview for this place on Friday. Very, very lucky indeed. I think I've covered everything. I think that's just my little two-penneth. Just remember, I've not been driving very long. I'm not a know-it-all. But my advice would be to start off on an agency. Do some multi-drop work. Do different kinds of work. Do different variations of work. So that when you do go to get your first job, you know what it's like. You know? It's like if you're doing, say, pavement drops like I was doing with the flooring company, delivering to, you know, shops and stuff on main roads. If you do that and then start doing RDC work and you sat on a bay for 4 hours waiting to be tipped, you're going to be bored out your trolley. And you're going to be like, this isn't what I expected. This is not what I wanted from HGV driving. Whereas if you've done that kind of experience on an agency, you're going to know if you're applying for a fridge job, like an articulated fridge job, the chances are all you do on fridge work is open your back doors, reverse on a bay and sit there. And then you drive off, and unless you go to Aldi or Lidl where you tip yourself. But the majority of the time, you park up and then drive off. And then reverse on a bay, park up, then drive off. Reverse on a bay, park up, drive off. That's kind of all you do with fridge work. That's your idea of, you know, your dream job. Crack on, mate. You know, good on you. Happy days. If you want to be a bit more active and do multi-drop and stuff, get into general haulage. But you'll learn all that through the agency. If you just go into the agency, listen, I want variety. I want to do anything and everything. Then that's what they'll do for you. Because they like people like that. They like people that are happy with variety, happy with short notice, and happy with just getting on with it and just going and doing it. I think that's about anything. If there's anything I've missed out, if there's anything else you want to ask me, feel free to add me on Instagram and DM me. Feel free to leave it in the comments. I am struggling to get through all the comments again, still, because I've had over 500 on my last video. Again, I am reading them, but I'm just finding it very difficult to respond to them all because there's just hundreds of them, man. But if there's anything you want to know, keep emailing me, keep DMing me, or anything like that. I'll try and get back to you. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Hope you're okay. Hope you're all staying safe. Peace out, bye. um, 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 um,